Welcome back to Life Unscripted. This is where we throw the script out the window and we talk about real things that are going on in the world and in our personal lives. My name's Nick.
And I'm Kelsey.
And we're going to be your host today on episode number 2. So first off, I really wanted to say thank you to everybody who had this outpouring of support for us with this new podcast, this new adventure that we're going to be going on. I didn't expect it at all.
No, we got a lot of comments and like people texting us, people seeing us at work.
Yeah.
And just being supportive.
Having finding entertainment in it. And yeah, I really didn't think that people were going to find the entertainment in it that they did.
Yeah, your one friend and his girlfriend were like watching us on their TV, which I thought was the coolest thing ever.
I did too, yeah. I got a Snapchat and they were watching it on their TV and I saw us on the TV and it was super cool. It's something that's so small, but it was super cool and it really shows that we're in a very unique place and on a unique platform.
Yeah, and on like the smallest level, like literally just seeing our faces on someone's TV was like, damn.
Super cool. Look good on a flat screen. So yeah, I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the support on episode 1. Even on the poll, we got a couple people on the poll. Were you a spooky season person or a Christmas person? Christmas won, so we're definitely going to have to talk about Christmas and dive deep into Christmas when that time comes. I know you're excited for that, but yeah, super happy and excited to see that, you know, if we keep this up and we keep doing it, that we're definitely going to be reaching individuals and doing what we came here to accomplish. Right. So let's dive into how was your week? How's your week so far?
It's been busy.
Yeah.
Like I just worked 3 12-hour day shifts in a row and I'm exhausted. Like yeah.
Coming back, just passing out on the bed.
Yeah.
There's no more energy.
No, and there's not even like a hey, want to watch TV? It's like, no, I
need to go to bed.
Yeah. And like not talk to anybody.
That was
I'm
me.
so overstimulated from work that like I don't want to be talked. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be touched. I just want to like literally lay down and sit there.
Probably, I don't know, 10 minutes before we started filming this podcast, I was passed out on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was like, we have things to do tonight. So if you want to film, you got to get up.
We do have things to do. We're busy
mm-hmm.
and we need to find the time to film this podcast.
Yeah.
So our first topic today is going to be kind of how we think personally or just, you know, in our surroundings, how social media has been affecting, supporting day-to-day life and especially the work life. So on your end, have you experienced social media in a good way at your work? Or just like technology, electronics, anything like that?
Like technology is great when it works, but it really sucks when it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you found it as like a distraction in the workplace for yourself?
No, I'm too busy.
You're too busy?
To be on my phone.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But I can definitely see at like other jobs I've been at, like it's just so easy to like take out your phone and do something when you don't feel like you have anything to do.
Yeah, I find that people use it as a filler now.
Yes.
And they really lack the interpersonal skills that, you know, our parents or even us that like we have.
Yeah.
It's very hard to hold a conversation with anybody nowadays.
I was at work actually yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, but I had briefly checked my phone and one of the doctors I was working with was like, just out of curiosity, like, how much time a day do you spend on your phone? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
Let me pull the analytics off that.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that. I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I was just checking some messages. And he just was talking about how he thinks that phones should, like, you shouldn't be able to access your phone until you've taken 20,000 steps in a day.
Whoa.
And then he was saying, and then beyond that, apps should have like a timeout kind of thing. So like
So you can't be on it an extended period of time.
So that you can like set the timer yourself, but say like for TikTok example, it's easy to get sucked in. It's easy to sit there for hours and hours and scroll. So you could like set whatever, say a half an hour timer for the day, and that's all you get. And then after you've reached that half hour, like the app is essentially locked until the next day.
That's interesting. I would be screwed because in the past week, I have been nonstop on video editing softwares, YouTube, everything, just to try and learn as much as I can of how to make this podcast amazing.
The app wasn't like the app thing wasn't what got it for me. It was like the 20,000 steps before you touch your phone.
Yeah, that's a little excessive.
I was like, that ain't happening.
No.
At all. Because even when I work a 12-hour day, I'm gone 14 hours a day, and I get on like 12,000 steps.
20,000 steps. Comment down below if you have ever hit 20,000 steps in a day, let alone in enough time so you can go on social media in that day.
Yeah, and like if I tried to get 20,000 steps, I could definitely do it, but I don't think I could do anything else in the day.
No.
Like that would have to be my only goal.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've found that technology is great in my industry, and it's helped us in a lot of aspects, especially in my industry where you can't really know everything about everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, YouTube comes into help. Yeah, so I find in my industry it's really helped, but I've also seen young individuals come into the industry and they just don't know what to do. They're on their phone 24/7.
Right.
Like I said, they don't have any interpersonal skills, and it's very tough to see where their future might go when they're pretty much glued to a screen all day.
Yeah. Social media can also be used in not the best way. In the hospital, for example, like I don't want my patients to be recording me.
Right.
I know that I'm doing my job and I know that, you know, I'm doing it right, but I don't want to be in a room with someone who has a camera on me.
Right.
Like it's just, I don't know where that video is going. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't like that.
Right.
And we do ask people like no filming
Right.
because like why?
The only time you want to be filmed is on Life Unscripted.
Yeah. And TikTok.
And TikTok. Yeah. Speaking of TikTok, again, thank you so much for all the support. It's been great. We're going to keep on rolling out as much content as we can.
It's been fun.
It has been fun. It's been amazing. So I guess for this industry, it's huge. Being able to edit on the go, film, record, do all of that pretty much from your phone is incredible. I understand now why the iPhone 15 is $1,500.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a professional camera, pretty much a MacBook. It's all of it all in one.
Yeah.
In the palm of your hands.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's crazy. Let's talk about how social media affects mental health in today's day and age, especially now that we're entering into this social media platform and kind of exposing ourselves to some critics.
Mm-hmm. So do you think, like, what do you think? Do you think that you're not going to, like, it's inevitable that not everybody's going to like what we do.
Yeah.
It's also inevitable to expect to not get bad comments.
Absolutely. How I think I'll do with it, I won't care.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's easy to say that, but I'm pretty stable with who I am and what I believe in and my values, and I love myself. So I think I'll be okay with it. Obviously, I think there's going to be a learning curve if we do hit that point where there's a lot of critics and there's some tough people out there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if you lean on your support system at home, in the workplace, just in general, I don't really think that any hater can kind of overcome you.
Well, that's good.
How do you think that you'll do with it if it comes that time?
Honestly, I think it's all going to depend on like what people say.
Right.
If they're shitting on the podcast, then like don't watch it. Like I'm not forcing you to click on the video and watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
If they're coming after like us as individuals, I might be a little more sensitive to that. I don't know.
I'll have to hold you back.
Yeah. No, I think I don't know. It's all going to depend on what people say.
Right. Yeah. And you've been kind of on the social media platform a little bit longer than I have. Pretty much, I was non-existent before doing the podcast. I never really took the time to put anything out there. And like I said, you've been on it for a little amount of time and you've had some exposure to it. Do you find it's kind of easy to navigate the social media side of it, or do you find it difficult when there are haters out there?
I mean, I don't really know what you're asking me.
Oh boy. How do I rephrase this question? Since you've had the exposure to this industry of social media, do you think it's going to be easier for you to navigate if there are haters or critics, pretty much in comparison to myself?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially on TikTok. TikTok videos go viral when you least expect it.
They do.
Some of my videos, like the one I posted with Devin, has 5 million views on it, and the amount of comments that people were literally just calling me stupid were like, I mean, I thought it was funny because I know like the backstory to that video, but it's just TikTok can reach such a wide variety of people, and you never know what somebody's going to say.
Nope.
Everybody has so many different opinions, and like TikTok is probably the worst for getting hate comments because of how big of a audience it reaches. Yeah,
and it's so easy to talk trash and do all of that behind a screen, and then when it comes time to pay the piper in person, no one really knows what to do, right? So it's a lot easier to type a hate comment than actually say it in person. And it's funny because we know exactly how the backstory was of that video, and some people completely blew up, are like, oh my God, you're so stupid, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you don't get it.
Yeah.
But I think that is kind of where there's the gray area of social media. Even electronics is misinterpreting things in certain various ways. Even when we're texting, you can misinterpret it a certain way. And now we're into a long argument or conversation because we completely misunderstood what one another were saying.
Yeah.
So I think that's very difficult.
And something that's really hard about text is you can't
express it.
No, like you don't know what your tone is. Like sometimes you have like texted me things and I read that in like a negative way and I'm like, oh, he's mad because I don't know what your tone was.
Best word out there, tone.
What do you mean?
Oh no, it always comes down to tone. And when you're talking to somebody in person, it's pretty, am I being happy? Am I being mad? But in text, it's words on a blank screen, right? And it can completely
up for interpretation.
Yeah, and it can completely change that text message, right?
Yeah.
And now you're in a whole slew of issues. Yeah. It's difficult, but I do think that there's a lot of benefits to the social media side of it, and it's giving us a platform to reach more people than we ever could imagine to reach.
Yeah.
Right? Which is super interesting. So let's talk about how fitness has either impacted or changed your life in a good way or a bad way.
Do you want to start? Because I feel like last year you kind of went hard into the fitness world.
I did go hard into the fitness world. So around a year ago, I found myself in not really a dark spot, but a place of unknown. I didn't really know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. And I found that on a very simple term, I was just on the couch all the time. I'd go to work, I'd come home, and I'd just sit on the couch, sleep, and that was kind of it. And through that, I found that my mood was declining rapidly. I found my personality was going out the door. For any of you who know me or have picked up through this podcast, I'm a very high energy, almost life of the party individual. You love me or you hate me because of that. My friend group, sometimes they hate me because of that. But anyways, I was noticing that I wasn't myself. I didn't have that same charisma and attitude that I once had. So I started going to the gym very consistently. So I completely changed my diet. I was on a recomp diet for those of you who know about it. It consisted of a smoothie, chicken and rice, steak and sweet potatoes or steak and rice, and then a cream of rice as a pre-workout and Rice Krispies, of course.
And you did that for way too long?
I did it for way too long. So that diet is for a quick recomp, or if you're going into like a bodybuilding competition and you want to get an ideal physique, cut a lot of fat or excess fat quickly. And I think I did it for like 8 months, which is quite long.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say I did it for 8 months, I did it for 8 months only eating that. Like there was nothing else.
Yeah.
And drinking coconut water. Nothing, pop, nothing.
You were strict.
I was very strict, and I told myself, like, I'd go to a restaurant with friends and family, and I would have ate before, and I would just get water, like cups and cups of water. And it's like, I could cheat at this point and have, something, but I needed to teach myself that mental strength to continue doing what I knew I needed to do to get the goal, like the achievements that I wanted.
Yeah.
And I went really hard for, 6 to 8 months, completely changed my life around, I would say, to completely improving my mood, improving my physique, and improving my outlook on how fitness and health really are correlated tightly with who you are as a person. Just the overall waking up, going to the gym, eating at the same time every day, your body's getting that fuel in order to have a successful day.
So did you find it hard to, like, I know you were disciplined and you were like very into it, but when you were saying like you would go out for dinner with friends and family and you would only get water, like that's not sustainable in my opinion.
No, it's definitely not sustainable. At that point in time, I wouldn't say it was hard because it was new.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also like a topic of discussion.
Right.
Because you can't just go to a restaurant and say, no, I'm not ordering anything. Bring me 8 cups of water.
Yeah.
And the waiter, okay, yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
No, they're obviously going to ask why. And then it gave me an opportunity to explain why. Some of them looked at me like I had 12 heads, but I didn't care. The people I was with knew what I was doing. And the people I was with even sometimes said, look, like you're going extreme. Mm-hmm. But I knew mentally that I needed to go to that really extreme side.
Yeah.
To train myself that, look, I can commit to something this extreme and I can follow through with it.
Right.
So after that 8-month time frame, I actually had dental surgery and I had gum grafting done. It's awful. Mm-hmm. And I lost a bunch of weight and the diet completely fell off. And
well, that was because you didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice. I was just eating potatoes.
Well, not even. Like the first week or so, you were like nothing, essentially, nothing. Because you couldn't.
It was brutal. It wasn't as much the graft, but it was where the graft site was.
Yeah.
Like, it was awful.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of derailed. Or maybe it was for the best because I was on it for way too long.
Yeah.
Low energy at the end of it.
Yeah.
I was taking so much pre-workout that it didn't even faze me anymore.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see where going to the extreme at that point in time was a little bit too much. So now we're kind of more on a sustainable health and fitness journey.
Yeah.
With, kind of eating what we want, obviously staying healthy, and just trying to stay fit along that process. And then if I do want to go back into that somewhat extreme cut for a short period of time, I know mentally that I can do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and through it, I highly recommend the fitness side to anybody who's listening. It's going to be tough at the beginning. It's very, very hard at the beginning to put yourself in that routine, especially if you haven't done it previously. But I was even talking to my best friend, and if he's listening, I would tell it to him again. He kept on mentioning that, I work a laborious job. I have low energy. I always feel fatigued. I don't want to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. And that's how a lot of people think. But when you go to the gym, you're producing more testosterone. You're having those dopamine hits and all of this positive chemical reaction in your body that you're actually going to feel more refreshed, have more energy in the morning. At least that's how it was for me. And that's how it's been for, is that how it was for you?
It's kind of hard to say because there was a lot of other things going on at the time.
Right.
But I will say now that I've been going to the gym consistently for, I don't know, 2 months.
Yeah.
Whatever. I can tell a difference in my like emotional and physical health when I don't go.
Mm-hmm.
So the last I don't even know like the last time I went to the gym, to be honest. Like it's been a couple days. And today when I got out of bed, I was like, I literally just need to go to the gym. Like there's so much, especially with the job I work, like there's so much built up stress. There's just like so much emotions. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm like miserable. So when I got up today, I was like, I literally just need to go to the gym. Like that's the only thing that I need to do today.
You need to just get rid of everything that's being built up before you pretty much pop like a cork, right?
Yeah. And then unfortunately, the gym we go to is quite busy. So it's really hard to find like that sweet time to go when you can like actually use some equipment.
Yeah.
So today I went with a plan and like I did half of my workout and like as like literally as much as I could do, but I couldn't stand around for half an hour and wait for any machine to be open.
Yeah. That's another thing that needs to be discussed. When you go to the gym, you cannot just sit on a piece of equipment for half an hour, 45 minutes
and play on your phone.
It's brutal. It shouldn't be allowed. People are there.
I think that this has a lot to do with the gym we go to.
I think it also has a lot to do with our initial topic of technology and social media. People cannot get off their phones.
No, I understand that. But if you think about the people that you have seen doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a younger crowd.
It's a younger crowd who go to the gym with 5 of their friends. They play around. They mess around. They use equipment for an hour. Like, yeah. I just feel like there's got to be some sort of like common sense.
Common sense or somebody there to enforce. I mean, it's tough, but
I do think it's because of the gym we go to specifically.
Right.
I think that's a big problem with it.
Unfortunately, we don't have any other ones near us.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, they do a lot of other activities there, and they host things, and they have groups, and they have this, and they have that. So I think because of that brings in a lot of, like, the high school level age group.
Right.
And I think that is a big reason on why we have such a big problem with people playing on equipment or sitting on equipment on their phones for hours. And
for sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to back up a bit. We kind of discussed fitness with me, and you touched on it briefly, but I wanted you to dive in a little bit deeper for the fitness side for you and why you started.
I originally started purely because I hated how I looked, and I don't recommend that to anybody. I don't think that you should work out because you don't like how you look,
right? Because
then you're not going to have a positive experience with the gym. Working out is not going to be fun. You're going to think of working out as a chore. You're essentially doing it because you're mad at yourself. And it's not a good way to start. And I will say when I started like that, and that was my mindset, I did not see results.
Because you're looking in the mirror every single day, stepping on the scale every single day. Or some people go to the extreme that it's in between every single set. And they're looking for changes in between sets, between reps.
Yeah. So that was how I started in the gym, and that was not sustainable either, because it was so easy for me to hate myself than to like be proud of myself for even going to the gym, that I didn't see results. I was never happy. Like it just wasn't good at the beginning.
Yeah. And it's very difficult to keep going every single day if you're going for a hatred reason rather than you know what, I'm going just to feel better.
Yeah. I was doing it to punish myself, not to like literally just make myself feel good.
Right.
So I probably, that was, I want to say like through COVID or at the beginning of or prior to COVID, like it was like a couple years ago now. And then I took a year off, and then it was last October that I really started going with Skylar. And that was when I became more consistent in the gym, and I was more focused on feeling good and like being strong than I was about like how I looked.
Yeah, because there's people out there who are extremely fit and they may not have the most ideal Instagram model-y physique. Yeah. But they're going to outlift every single person.
Yeah, or they're just going to feel good about themselves.
Or they're just going to feel good about themselves. So yeah, it definitely depends on, what your goal is and why you're there.
And your mindset.
100%.
Yeah. So then I was very consistent from like October of last year until whenever you had your gum graft.
Yeah, I don't even remember when it was.
It was early, like I want to say like February maybe.
Yeah.
But like very consistent between going with Skylar and then when I would come and see you, like we would go.
Yeah, at this point I will mention we didn't live together.
Yeah.
We were FaceTiming each other or sending just like Snapchat videos before we'd go to the gym of doing like a dry scoop of pre-workout.
Dry scoop vids.
Dry scoop vid, here we go.
Yeah.
That was sorry to cut you off.
No, that's okay. So then I kind of fell off the track when you had your gum graft, and then in May we moved, and in the summer we were just way too busy. So when we moved, I didn't get a gym membership because I knew that summer was up. We were going to be so busy. I wasn't going to commit like I would when I didn't like have an excuse not to.
Right.
So I think we got our gym, like I got my gym membership here in, I don't know, maybe the end of August or early September.
Yeah, we finally just hit a point that we're like, we need to just see these withdrawals coming from our bank account, and then I'll be forced to go.
Mm-hmm. So ever since then, like early September, probably, we've been pretty consistent.
Oh yeah. And obviously, like we said numerous times, life is super busy, but you need to find the time to do those things that make you feel good. You need to find the time, even if it's 45 minutes a day, you need to find that time.
For sure.
And what is your so you started back in October with, I hate myself, I hate how I look.
That wasn't in October. That was like pre-COVID.
Or sorry. Then you started going hard last October. So pre-COVID, you started, I hate the way I look. I'm going to the gym more as a punishment. Then you moved into a hardcore phase pretty much around the exact same time I did. Yeah. What is now your outlook or your approach as you go to the gym?
I go more now for my mental health. I notice a big difference of when I'm working out consistently and when I'm not. And I go literally just to feel good.
Right.
I don't care about lifting heavy anymore. Like obviously it's nice when you get a PR, like whatever, but my prime goal is not to lift the heaviest in the gym anymore. Just bit my tongue. Where like when I started in last October, like that was my goal, was strength purely.
Right.
So now I go to feel good. I go and do workouts that I like to do. I'm not on a strict plan. I don't follow a particular diet. I think everything should be eaten in moderation. And that has been what has been working best for me now.
For sure. Yeah, no, we've been seeing great results by just going out of the enjoyment for it. And obviously we tightened up the diet a bit. Yeah. The diet did completely fall off the rails. Yeah. We will say that. But we also had a great foundation that you could allow that.
Right.
Yeah. You could allow that cheat month or 2 months that we did. But we're here now, loving fitness.
Yeah.
And slowly moving forward. Speaking of fitness, anybody who wants to look at an alternative for an energy drink, this is not sponsored, but maybe it is. I think this is pronounced Zoa, and this is actually the Rock's energy drink. Super great energy drink. I got off of any high stim pre-workout, and I'm just going for something to kind of give me a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a pick-me-up after a long day at work, and those have been great. And like I said, I just woke up from a nap, so I need my pick-me-up.
Yeah. And for anybody who doesn't like those or doesn't want to try those, I drank the Alani Nu energy drinks, and I highly recommend. Like,
yeah, those ones are great too.
Delicious. Yeah. And they actually give you energy. So
yeah, those ones are great. And you've been using them for late night shifts too, haven't you?
I use them on night shifts. It took a little while to find like the perfect
cocktail. Perfect energy drink cocktail.
No. The perfect time to take them.
I was way in left field.
I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So basically, if I'm working nights, I start the shift with a coffee, and then I like to have an energy drink at like 3 a.m. ish, because I do have an hour drive home after. But if I'm taking that energy at like 5:30, 6 a.m, like, I'm wired and I can't sleep when I get home.
Yeah, you're wired. I'm just getting up to go to work, and this one comes in the door, guns blazing.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to go, and I'm still half asleep.
Well, I just worked all night, so.
No, 100%.
I'm like ready to like tell you about my day.
And that's how I am when I come back from work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just wired.
Yep.
From a long day of craziness.
Babysitting,
yeah. It's just been a lot.
Yeah.
Lately. We're going through a huge corporate-wide move right now, and when you're kind of the front person of it, people come to you for answers
or don't come to you.
Or don't come to me. But yeah, they come to me for answers and questions. It's just a lot. So making sure that you have that mental balance, and that's why the gym side of it has been huge, to try and get that stress relief. And I'm a pretty stress-free person.
Yeah.
So yeah, work's been a lot, but it's great. I can't complain.
That's good.
Yeah, I can't complain.
I'm pretty sure on the last podcast, I literally was like, oh, we live in a bougie area. Yep. And what do you know? I say that, and God knows who was outside doing some weird shit. Super
weird. We were talking about our neighbors, decorating everything, and yeah. And this guy was just staring at our neighbor's house.
Like, I would love for you to think of the stance that Slenderman stands in.
I was just going to say, it was Slenderman.
It was like the stance of like the arms like out like this, and like stiff posture.
Almost like is it called rigor mortis?
No. I don't know.
Isn't like when you're like dead and like super firm, isn't that called rigor mortis?
Yeah.
It is.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super strange.
Just like very stiff, and like hands were clenched, and he was like
just swaying back and forth. So when we
first had walked by him, the dogs went nuts. And typically if a dog is going at that like you like look or like have some sort of like reaction, but this guy didn't even move.
No.
And we initially thought that he was like admiring the Halloween decorations, so we didn't think much about it, and we like kept walking.
I thought he was reading them. He was clearly talking to himself.
He wasn't talking.
He was.
No, he wasn't. He
was like mouthing, and that's when I thought he was reading the signs.
Okay.
And then remember when we passed him leaving, and you said, oh, he's talking to himself?
No.
Yeah, when we passed him. Driving down the street. You're like, oh, he's just talking to himself.
At that point, yes. So not when he was out here. I didn't see him talking to himself.
Yeah, so he was doing that out front of the house.
Yeah.
And then...
So we were like, oh, if you were like just admiring these signs, like they weren't huge. They were just little like stick in the grass things. And so then by the time like we got to our house, we could still see our neighbor's house. And he was still standing there staring and just like... swaying back and forth. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I don't know where he went. Never seen him again.
Until we drove by. We were driving.
Oh, we were going to the gym.
We were going to the gym, and he was walking down whatever street.
Like not close to here. Like it was like around the block basically.
Yeah, but doing the same thing. Walking super weird, stiff arms, talking to himself, hood up. Yeah. Very creepy. And yeah.
And if that's his vibe, go for it, but it freaked me out a little bit.
I mean, it is Halloween. Maybe he's just practicing for a costume party.
Maybe
he's a skinwalker.
I don't know what that is, and I don't want to
know. We can talk about that on another podcast. But it was super strange, super weird. but
just threw me off a little bit. That's all. But I'm also a highly paranoid person, and I will admit that.
You are a highly paranoid, especially when I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever, and it's tough. Like, we're in a row house, a townhouse, and it's tough because walls are thin, and you can hear the neighbors and discussions or loud noises. And for you, it freaks you out a little bit.
A lot of it.
When I'm not here.
Yeah.
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 Have you got better at realizing, oh no, it's just the neighbor, or is it still heightened paranoia?
I've definitely gotten better, but it is not great when you're not home.
Yeah, and sometimes, like, I will personally admit, oh shit, I think that someone just came in our door.
Yeah, like, I don't understand. Well, like, I don't understand that if they're slamming a door, why it sounds like a door in our house is slamming.
It's because it's new construction. It's cheap.
Yeah, well, they gotta fix that.
Yeah, it's new construction. Yeah. It's cheap, bare minimum. But it's tough because we have people on either side of us,
mm-hmm.
and it can get quite loud.
Yeah.
So. It's just another thing you have to deal with
mm-hmm.
living here.
Yes. Yes. I love it here, though. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
No. We just need a house with a nice backyard.
Yes.
House with a nice backyard for the dogs.
That's on our
goals.
2024 vision board.
Vision board, yeah. 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Along with getting this YouTube channel to 10,000 subscribers.
Okay.
So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, 1, you're missing out, and 2, you're not contributing to our 2024 vision.
That's right.
So smash that like and subscribe button.
Smash it.
Smash it. Is there anything else you want to discuss?
No, I think I'll save it for next podcast.
Save it for the next one? Okay. Well, if we're not going to touch upon anything else,
mm-hmm.
that is going to be the end to episode 2 of Life Unscripted, hosted by Nick and Kelsey. Thank you.